This is a single leg deadlift. In the single leg deadlift, we're going to start by stepping up in between the two kettlebells. Make sure the kettlebells are lined up with your ankles, not your toes like this, all the way up in between them. And then the way I set up is by hinging with 2 feet. So I'll have my feet together and hinge back. Make sure I'm getting into a nice deep hinge, feeling it through my glutes and hamstrings. And then grab the kettlebells and take 1 foot away while staying in a good hinge. Then brace. So squeeze the kettlebells tight, pinch the shoulder blades down and back, brace the core, and drive your foot down into the ground. All the way up to the top. Make sure you finish with that working hip, nice and tall, and then back down, and then hinge again. Some things you'll see that people do wrong in the single leg deadlift is not actually hinging. It is much harder to hinge on one leg than it is on both. So you'll see a lot of people just kind of bending over and the hip doesn't actually travel backwards. Or they might start kind of squatting it like this, where you see the knee going forward a lot and they're coming down like this. Or putting the bells out in front of them where it's like that, so that they don't actually have to hinge as much. But you want the motion coming from the hip, so you want to really see the hip going backwards, and as much as possible, you don't want to see the knee traveling forward very much. Other mistakes is allowing your hips to open up. So as you're going down, make sure this up leg your toes don't start pointing out like this. Keep those toes pointing down, and your hips should stay square to the floor, pointing forward the whole time. And the last thing you need to watch out for is becoming unpacked as you lift. Since it is only one leg, it takes more bracing to be able to lift it up without losing position. So you don't want to see this happening as you lift, where either the back or the shoulders come unpacked. You need to keep this nice rigid line here, brace tight, and drive it to the floor where everything comes up together.